What up, nuts? So we had a huge aeration event this week. We had a core aerate, we had a poke aerate. We started to get signs of a fungus from compaction using the heavier lawnmowers this year. Here's a really good example of compaction right here. You see how shallow the root zone is, and then all of this dirt gets rock solid. You get an anaerobic environment, and fungus can start happening, causing some browning in our grass. So we core aerated all this, seeded this again. Bunch of weeds growing in there for now, but we seeded that. And now we're working on bringing the green back. We tested the soil a little bit. We were a little low on iron, so we put a magnesium iron supplement down and core aerated, poke aerated, let it sit for a few days. Just cut it with the American Lawnmower Company push reel, the 16-inch push reel, just to cut the tips, just the tip. And there you have it. Look at that guy. He likes the newts, the nutrients. Frangies are blowing up. And a whole bunch of flowers back there. We'll have to do something with that here. We'll get on that once we get the course back in shape. But we core aerated the green. Started to have like a moldy smell to it, so I knew the fungus was coming. So instead of using a whole bunch of different products, we just went to town with a little core aerator and beat the hell out of it. So it don't look great right now, but we'll keep it updated. I mean, that's what it is. Sometimes, you know, you got stripes that you're laying, and sometimes you got fungus that you're slaying. But that's what it is. It starts to get at you, and you know, the struggle is real. We're still trying to get some stuff to grow in here. Some common Bermuda's trying to spread, but hey, at this point, whatever coverage we get, I think I did a big no-no. And one of my reasons I'm struggling right now is because earlier on in the winter, I believe I laid down a regular dose of crabby grass preventer, which is a pre-emergent, and I typically do that in the fall. I've done it for the past 4 or 5 years, and this is the first year we're growing this type of grass. So we basically torched the old yard, raised the green up, enlarged it, and now we're trying to get the grass to all come back. So this is definitely a work in progress, but we'll see what we can do. If you end up dropping pre-emergent, only thing you can do is really aerate, stir up the soil, try to break the chemical barrier, and maybe 9-10 days later you can plant some seed. But that's the tricky part with the turf grass and using the heavy lawnmowers is when you aerate, you really do want to water, feed, overseed. You got to keep some constant water on that. And you don't want to fill the holes in. Not immediately, anyway. Give it a rest for a few days, then go back to work. So it's a little bounce, but that's where we're at now. We've got a lot of green. This was all browning out. Kind of see this patch here. This whole patch was all browning out, just like that stuff, and that'll tell you right there that ain't lack of water. But we're coming back green. This part here was all brown, and we got a bunch of green in the past few days. So it looks like the aeration is starting to take some effect.
Whoa.
Back to signs of compaction. We have it in the backyard as well. We knew a fungus was growing back here. We could see it. Posted it in another video. Didn't aerate fast enough. So we came back and took a couple of samples from different places, and yeah, we got compaction back here as well. So today we're going to aerate, but Funny thing is a lot of this new seed that we put down is finally sprouting. Like I said, a lot of this is a Bermuda, but we had tried paspalum back here, and I believe the same mistake I made up front, I made out back. I put the pre-emergent down in fall, totally forgot about it. Before the 6-month time period is up that the product's effective, I tried to scalp and then reseed or seed. And you can't put new seed down on top of pre-emergent. It just didn't work that way. So we mixed this all up, add a little bit of water, a little nutrients, and we do have baby grass growing all throughout. So we're probably going to do the same thing here. Core aerate. Especially just some of these obvious areas where it's not growing in. And you see a lot of this yellowing and browning here. You know, yellowing like that is probably from fertilizer. When you get yellowing like that and browning, that's usually a brown leaf. That's some type of a fungus or disease. And I typically put down a potting soil every year mixed with sand. I know some people would say that's crazy, but potting soil is supposed to be sterile, unlike garden soil. So there's not supposed to be any weed seed in potting soil. Plus it has perlite in it, and that'll help hold moisture, and it's not going to damage my reel mowers. You understand, I get this growing, and I'm using probably a push mower for the majority of the growing process. Then once it gets mature, then we level with sand, and then we start using the big boys to lay stripes. So it is a process. It will take you some time, but in the end, don't get frustrated. Just keep working the yard, and the grass will start sprouting. And then once you get sprouts, you can tend to the issues. Aeration is a really good tactic to help out with fungus, to help out with non-growth. Poking holes like that, it'll get you really good results. And you can see inside of these holes, when I pull up on the soil, that's my problem. It's compacted. You have a loose topsoil, and then way down in deep, it's rock solid. It's really hard to see. I don't have any way to light that up, but you have a top sandy soil, maybe about an inch down, and then that's just black rock, anaerobic, no oxygen. So fungus can just chill down there. It's always something. So there's signs everywhere, literally. You look around and there's signs. And the way I figured out my issue was, where were the weeds growing? Well, the weeds wasn't growing anywhere back in here. Nothing was growing back in here. And this is something, or somewhere I would definitely place pre-emergent in the fall. Because back then I had a nice rye lawn, rye overseeded Bermuda lawn, and we decided to switch to paspalum. We've had this carpet grass here forever. And I know this is a perennial. Don't know exactly what kind of carpet grass it is, but that's what it is. And it's always grown there. No matter what I do, I can fight it back, but it'll want to spread during the spring and summer. Over here is somewhere where I've never put pre-emergent. And all I have is typical Florida weeds spreading everywhere in there, alongside of some carpet grass and Bermuda. Possibly a little torpedo or bahia or something in there. And that's what kicked it off for me. The place I didn't put pre-emergent had a bunch of weeds. The place I did put pre-emergent doesn't have weeds and doesn't have growth from the new seed. Bingo. Alright, boys and girls, there's the bad boy right there. I got a couple of these. I really like this one because it can hold the cores in the little container there. Flip them out like shotgun shells. Whatever, you know? But anyways, so what I'm going to do for y'all is this. Instead of what you see a lot of where everybody wants the perfect yard, I'm going to show you. So if your yard looked the way it did when I walked in and we started this video, and you go ahead and you do nothing, we're going to show you what happens to this side of the yard. We're not going to do anything to it. We're just going to cut it, do whatever. This side, we went ahead and used a core aerator. We're going to let this rest for a day, get some oxygen down to the roots, and then we're going to overseed this again, add a little bit of nutrients if the soil demands it, and then we're going to bring in some sand and level in the holes in about 2 days. And we'll go ahead and follow up on that and see how much better this side does than this side does. And we'll have a really good comparison on what you'll get if you buy a $50 aerator on Amazon and do a little manual labor, or if you do nothing. Or also, we can even one-up it and try putting some products down on this without doing anything to the soil and see how effective it is. My guess is it won't be effective at all. So that's how easy things can go south for you. But once you see the signs, you just do what you got to do. We ended up laying down a pre-emergent, which was on our typical schedule, and then had the brilliant idea to change the grass type. Totally taken out of consideration that we had laid down a chemical layer to stop any seed growth. So we basically scalped our yard and laid down fresh seed on top of that pre-emergent. Not gonna work. So we'll just go ahead and mix it all up and start from scratch. That's all you can do. And you stay on it. And because what happens is, you scalp the grass, you scarify it, you lay new seed, and I would think that the scarifying process probably would have broken the chemical barrier, but apparently it didn't. And that was my naivety. And so I overseeded or seeded and then started watering the crap out of it. And the seed was all dead. I was just breeding a fungus underneath. And the pre-emergent stopped anything from growing. So we'll go ahead and just do what we do. Cut this guy back, give her a little poke, and we'll see where it goes from there. But you can always come back from any downfall you make in your yard. Really, it's not that difficult. And most of the time, going to the store and spending a bunch of money on products isn't going to help you. Things like an aerator, 3-prong, 4-prong. You can buy manual ones, core aerators. You can buy rolling poke aerators. Those are really your best bet. Oxygen cures all, because that's what you have is an anaerobic environment.